Hello, I'm continuing my reviews on the Pumpkinhead series with Pumpkinhead Ashes to Ashes. Now, Pumpkinhead Ashes to Ashes is the third film in the Pumpkinhead series, and this came out in 2006, and this was actually a made-for-TV movie on the Sci-Fi channel. Now, the film is directed by Jake West, who also directed a movie called Evil Aliens and a movie called Doghouse, and he directed one of the segments of the anthology film, The ABCs of Death. Now, Pumpkinhead Ashes to Ashes acts as a direct sequel to the original Pumpkinhead, and it more or less ignores the events of Pumpkinhead 2 Blood Wings, but then again, Pumpkinhead 2 Blood Wings didn't really have any continuity with the first movie, so this movie essentially acts as the true sequel to the first Pumpkinhead movie. Now, the film stars Doug Bradley, who most people would know as the guy who played Pinhead in the Hellraiser movies. Now, the plot of Pumpkinhead Ashes to Ashes is it's about this evil doctor who's also a mortician played by Doug Bradley, who, what happens is, he has been taking organs from the dead bodies and selling the organs on the black market and then dumping the bodies, and he has a bunch of people working for him, and some of the people who work for him end up getting caught, so now the whole town finds out about this, and what happens is a small group of people end up going to Haggis, who is the old witch from the first movie, and they end up summoning Pumpkinhead to go after these people who have been harvesting their loved ones' organs. And in the movie, the character of Bunt from the first movie, who was that kid who led Ed Harley to Haggis in the first movie, he comes back in this movie. However, he's played by a different actor in this movie, but in the movie, Bunt is being haunted by the ghost of Ed Harley from the first movie, and Lance Henriksen actually comes back to reprise his role as Ed Harley in the movie. Now, Pumpkinhead Ashes to Ashes really isn't that good of a movie. I mean, I appreciate that this movie is trying to be a direct sequel to the first one, while Pumpkinhead 2 more or less ignored the continuity of the first one. I like that this one is trying to stay in continuity with the first one, and in the movie you even get a flashback sequence to the events of the first movie, but, you know, besides referencing the first one, which I did appreciate, it really isn't that good of a movie. You know, even despite Pumpkinhead 2's problems, I can still honestly say that Pumpkinhead 2 still definitely had a heart to it. This movie is just, to me, kind of lifeless. Like, there's really nothing to this movie. Now, it is a Sci-Fi Channel original movie, and typically those movies really aren't the best, and I will say that this is definitely one of the better Sci-Fi Channel original movies, but that's not really saying much. It's still really not that good of a movie. The main problem with the movie is really the acting in the movie. Most of the acting in this film really isn't that good. Even Lance Henriksen, I mean, Lance Henriksen is a great actor, but he's really not given much to do in this movie, and he's only in very few scenes in the movie. Really, the only actor in this movie who I can honestly say does a really good job is probably Doug Bradley, who plays the human villain in the movie, and Doug Bradley, his character is actually really good, but besides him, none of the other actors in the movie are all that good, and the characters in the movie are also not really that good either. You know, even the character of Bunt in the movie, who was in the first movie, his character in this movie doesn't even seem like the same character, and obviously the character is much older now, so obviously he would be a little different, but I don't know, he just doesn't even seem like the same character. You would think he would have some qualities that the character of the first movie had, and the actor they got to play Bunt in this movie, I'm sorry, I thought he was horrible in this movie. That's just my opinion. Other people might like his acting in the movie, but I thought he was horrible in the movie. And once again, I just find it to be kind of a lifeless movie. Now, in the movie, they give Pumpkinhead kind of a new look, and it looks pretty good, but at the same time, I personally prefer Pumpkinhead's look in the original film, and also you do get some really shitty CGI effects in the movie. Like, throughout most of the movie, Pumpkinhead is a guy in a costume, but there are some CGI shots of Pumpkinhead in the movie which are just absolutely horrendous, in my opinion. Also, Haggis, the old witch, she looks horrible in this movie. Like, I think the makeup effects for her are just laughable, in my opinion. And, in the original Pumpkinhead movie, I don't know if they used makeup for Haggis in the first movie, but Haggis in the first movie legitimately looked like an old woman. In this, you could definitely tell it's makeup, and it's just laughable, in my opinion. But yeah, that's my review on Pumpkinhead Ashes to Ashes, the third film in the Pumpkinhead series, and bye.